Good morning. Today is leg day, so I actually have quite a lot of food on my plan on a leg day. Because I've been very much just to plan on my diet post my prep, obviously base foods have been able to build up very nicely. My body weight a couple of days ago had started coming down just a little bit, so Kuba increased my foods, but as we go throughout today you'll be able to see what my current food macro breakdown is for a leg day. It's up at like 3,600, which is obviously a lot more than I was having at the end of my prep. The need for me to kind of have a little bit more and get a bit more body weight on is a must, due to the fact that obviously I go into prep pretty swiftly, but also don't want to see body composition get affected, which is why I never really go overboard with off-plan meals, but we definitely usually have a little bit of downtime post our usual end of a competition prep. So we'll have like a couple of days where we do enjoy some foods together and some downtime together. But obviously that hasn't happened this time because one, I need to lock in for the Olympia, and two, obviously Kuba's on prep for his competitions in a few weeks. So my meal one is 225 grams of egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 200 grams of sourdough bread. Obviously I've got some vegetables and stuff in there that come up to 100 grams. I have all of my health subs from Trained by JP Nutrition that help to keep my blood work in a good spot. I am 3 weeks post show and I've regained my monthly cycle. That was also another reason why my body weight had dropped back down, because of obviously that coming and then going again, which is why obviously then the food's gone up, because it had come down and kind of then maintained there for a little bit of time. But obviously all the health supplementation helped to keep my blood work in the best spot possible. Bodybuilding isn't the healthiest sport, but you can try and do it in the healthiest way that you possibly can through health supplementation, good nutritious foods, and being adherent with your diet. There's also 100 grams of blueberries in this little pot as well. But yeah, I'm going to eat this now and then we will move on to what the next job is of the day. Today is Thursday, and Thursday is pretty much my busiest day of the week. Doing our food prep at the moment for the day, we have our days set up where we can afford to do some things daily. We don't have to bulk cook because we have the time, or we've created for our days to have time to be able to do that. We have specific work blocks, food prep blocks, training blocks, taking dog walk blocks, etc. Like, our days are very regimented, they're very routined, they are to the button every single day, unless there's like a big emergency where we've had to be pulled away from it for X, Y and Z reason. Every single day looks the same, just obviously we have a rest day schedule and a training day schedule. So I'm currently just making my intra workouts, which are from Trained by JP Nutrition. I use the Sustain. I've always used the Sustain as my intra-workout carb source because it sits really nicely for me. I find that any other carb source that I've ever used doesn't sit as nicely on my tummy. I just find that goes down really easily. I don't have as much in my intra-workout as, say, a male open bodybuilder, so you may be a little bit different to me, but I tend to find that that's the best, and I definitely don't have a super small amount. My intra-workout actually hasn't changed since coming back from my show. Obviously, during my peak week, my intra-workout wasn't the same, and I did 3 weeks back to back, so it is different because my training sessions require more. The only thing that is different from an upper body day to a lower body day for me, because that's the way in which we carb cycle, we have more carbs on the days that those sessions are more intense and less on the days that aren't. So in here I have 200 millilitres of coconut water, which obviously does give some carbohydrates in it. So I have an extra 50 mils on a leg day compared to training day. So there's 200 mils in there, whereas on a upper body day there's only 150 mils. But this stays consistent at 20 grams each time I train. And then I also have my intra-workout protein, which is peach iced tea at the moment. This is actually my favourite flavour. The watermelon used to be my favourite, but they actually discontinued that one. And I have 25 grams of that all the time. Obviously, as you've followed myself and Cooper for a really long time, if you have, we do have our protein halfway through our session. So I have it with a small amount of water that I have halfway through my session, so that my spikes of protein are split evenly throughout the day. So I have this halfway through my session, which is halfway from my pre-workout meal and my post-workout meal. Just because we do train for a very long time, I don't think that there's a necessity for people who potentially don't have the longest sessions to do that, but our sessions are like 2.5 hours. So from our pre-workout meal, we've waited an hour to then have our training window. We kind of need something within that to be able to then keep us going throughout our session leading up to the post-workout meal, which is usually about 15 to 30 minutes post our training session. So yeah, that's what we do. Post doing all of my stuff downstairs, I then come up and do another work block until 10 o'clock. This is where the people that I've done check-ins to usually reply, so then I can reply back to their reply. If there's any form clicks that have come in since I've finished my first work block, I do them now, and just make sure that everything's outlined fully. One of my clients has let me know that he's going on a holiday, so I've adjusted his timeline to make sure that it fits really well for when he goes away. I think it's important that if a client needs support with something like a holiday, that you do that as a coach, because that's why they've asked you to be their coach, to be able to give them guidance for things that they potentially don't feel like they can manage properly on their own when they're trying to be the best bodybuilder that they can be. But things like holidays and things like that don't need to be shied away from. It's just that you approach them in a sensible way. But for people that are wanting to lead a healthy life and stay looking and feeling fantastic, they would approach it really smart anyway. So yeah, that's my opinion. I know that lots of people think, oh fuck it, it's Christmas, and oh fuck it, it's my holiday and things like that. That's fine if you want to have that mindset, but not everybody does, and some people want to have guidance on how to approach it in a sensible way. So work block 2 done. Now onto meal number 2, which is 125 grams of, this is actually a mix of venison and 3% beef mince with 50 grams of rice, 100 grams of vegetables, and then 100 grams of pineapple as well. So I'm gonna eat this, and then it'll be time for the excellence call all around female cycles and the menopause, and managing that alongside your fitness. Within the different phases that we'll go into, whether they'll be struggling more so in the luteal, in the follicular, etc. phase. So whether that be like day 10, day 15, kind of 7 days away from their cycle, you'll get to understand their body weight, fluctuations within their hormones that are a lot more than others for you personally throughout your month, so that you can continue with your bodybuilding journey. Feel good factor throughout the month is actually getting their blood work done at different points in their month. First week, mid-month, end of month, when they start bleeding, etc. Is it a cost out? For sure. But if they want to be able to manage and understand their own bodies properly, then unfortunately sometimes that does have to happen. Adding steroids, for example, that obviously happens within bodybuilding, and sometimes that monthly cycle doesn't happen, so you don't actually see that up and downness. You can actually look to manage that with creating a cycle almost of omegas when they are within their kind of cycle month. So on day 1 to day 15 you would increase their omegas. From day 15 you would drop down to baseline omegas, and actually that just tends to help with keeping the cycle flowing a little bit better. I really enjoyed doing that one because it's a space where we can speak openly. For me personally, I can't speak about absolutely everything that comes along with bodybuilding on social media, obviously, because it's not good. They don't really like it as professionals for you to speak about it, which is understandable. So at least we have forums that we can do that, and the excellence team and the kind of community that we have with that is definitely one of those spaces. So that was a good one. If you do want to learn more about bodybuilding, its process as both a male, a female, a coach, an athlete, what it entails, what you need to do, etc., I couldn't recommend the Excellence Programme enough. But yeah, today was all about monthly cycles, the menopause, and everything to do with, I always go off on a tangent, everything to do with hormones that you could possibly imagine when it comes to fitness and bodybuilding, the goods and the bads. So I'm going to eat my pre-workout meal, which is 80 grams of rice, 185 grams of raw weight prawns, 75 grams of veggies, 1 rice cake with 20 grams of honey, and 100 grams of pineapple. With how our schedules align, Cooper comes into the kitchen a bit before me, so I'm lucky my food's always waiting for me on the table. I weigh it and stuff before, and then he puts it on the pan because he always makes it taste much nicer than me. And sometimes it's easier to eat food that someone else makes rather than you, which is nice. So I am going to eat this, and then we're going to head to the gym for legs. Right, so post-session, just about to eat my post-workout meal. Feeling good after my workout, a little bit smashed, but still good. In my bowl, I have 80 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of cereal, 40 grams of whey, and 150 grams of berries. I'm going to eat that now, and then we'll obviously be on our way home, and it will be time for second to last meal, chill, and eat. Okay, last 2 meals are 75 grams of rice, 185 grams of prawns, 100 grams of veggies, and 25 grams of avocado for meal 5. My last meal is a mix of Trained by JP cream of rice and some oats, and the grand total is 100 grams and a side of Caesar Barkin. And then also we have alongside that 80 grams of Phage yogurt. I'm double checking on the board. 100 grams of yogurt, 20 grams of whey, 20 grams of dark chocolate, and 100 grams of berries. And some of it I've actually popped into a little pot. So there's half my whey and half my yogurt in there that I will obviously blend up into the Ninja Creamy, and then the rest of it I'll have on top of my oats. Just makes it a little bit more volume which when you're hungry, like I am obviously after my competition, it just makes it a little bit more volume prior to bedtime, which should help the sleep. My sleep's definitely getting better. I wouldn't say that it's the best, but just is what it is around your competition. Eventually, over the next couple of weeks, it'll probably get good again, and then it'll be back to prep, where it'll, towards the end of it, just get a little bit rubbish. So extra double dose of dream sleep prior to bedtime especially on a show day night, to try and make sure that sleep is great so that you wake up feeling funky fresh, ready for show day. Anyway, that is the end of my full day of eating. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I would let you see my last meal and me eating it, but I think it's a bit rude to make Aaron stay here until 8 o'clock. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If there's anything more that you'd like to see from my channel, please let me know. Always happy to open up and share anything. Please follow my log at trainbyjp.com. Don't get the I'm always getting something down my top. So yeah, that is the end of the video. Thanks guys.